In the last episode, we covered the fuel tank issue, but there were other discoveries still awaiting us aboard La Brisa. Some good, some not so good. Lee began clearing out the lazarette, and we were astounded at how cavernous it is. It was crammed full of interesting things. For example, the Follow Me television antenna, which we gave away as we do not watch television and don't see ourselves taking up this endeavor in a secluded, peaceful anchorage. The stern of the lazarette is sheathed in copper, which acts as a grounding plate for our single sideband radio. Additionally, there is a series of scaffolding that supports a network of shelving. The current system just lifts out. Next trip, we will get in there and wipe everything down with a mild bleach solution to deal with any mold and mildew. At some point in the near future, we will need to construct shelving that can be secured in the event of a knockdown. However, it needs to be easy to remove to allow access to the steering quadrant and drive shaft. Another project. We still had more adventures in the bilge. I began at the bow under the V-berth and started working back towards the fuel tank. As I cleaned away, I too discovered treasure. In the area of the bilge between the V-berth and the mast, I found a lovely Fortress FX37 anchor. However, it has no road. After the forward part of the bilge was cleaned out, I began painting. You can see me wearing a respirator, and good thing too. The paint smelled strongly of solvents, and I'm sure I would have ended up with a monstrous headache. Underneath the table in the salon, and just forward of the fuel tank, is a bank of batteries. 4 of a total of 6 batteries for the house bank. The remaining 2 batteries and the starter battery are in different and higher locations. We removed the batteries and high-sided battery boxes so I could continue my mission of cleaning and painting the bilge. As I was energetically scrubbing this area, the battery box support came loose in my hand, much to my surprise and chagrin. Goody! Another project! Here, you can see me garbed in gear that looks appropriate for an outbreak of Ebola. I am very sensitive to epoxy, and even this didn't keep me from getting an annoyingly itchy, burning rash on my arms. I think the fault was in using a dust suit rather than a less permeable heavy-duty suit. I have since acquired a heavy-duty suit, and we'll see how that works in our future projects. Lee found fiberglass mat in his excursions in the lazarette, and using that and the epoxy we brought with us, I epoxied 2 2x2 supports, similar in design to the previous supports. However, instead of recreating the original L shape, we made 2 separate supports in order to allow water from the mast to flow through on its way to the bilge sump. Having never done this type of construction before, and after the fact watching a Boatworks Today video, I think I was a little skimpy in the use of the fiberglass. We will keep an eye on my spur-of-the-moment construction to see how well it adheres. Another modification that we will have to make, and one our surveyor indicates as critical, is to add battery restraints in this compartment in the event of a knockdown. Ideas are percolating on how we will accomplish this. Another project! So many things have gone
not as planned. A case in point is what I woke up to this morning. Here's my freshly painted beautiful bilge that I painted yesterday, along with the battery supports that we epoxied in, and a mysterious green substance that appears to have flowed down. So, following the trail through the limber hole under the mast and up into the forward bilge compartment, it appears to be coming from the holding tank, or well, the pipes leading into the holding tank. So let's go take a look. So there is the culprit. It appears to have leaked from maybe that hose there, leading into this pump. And it has pooled in the bottom of this compartment, flowing through the limber holes into the bilge. This is particularly depressing since we have not used any of the plumbing whatsoever. We have not used the water. We have not used the toilet facilities. Lee has done some moving around of the pipes and disconnecting of some of them, so maybe it created pressure, but we should not have a leak.
You guessed it, another project. Our 2 weeks went by way too fast, and we are now home, ordering parts, planning, and dreaming of our return to La Brisa. Join us again and see how things are going. Look what came in the mail yesterday, our Coast Guard documentation. So we get to go now to the Mexican government on our next trip, get our temporary import permit, and then we'll be able to change the name on the hull from V'ger to La Brisa. And I get the fun task of looking at graphics, colors, ooh, all kinds of neat things. Plus, I also have to think about a renaming ceremony.